close your eyes and let me take you back to a simpler time. Dunkaroos were a high-value lunch snack. Bagel bites every day after school. And yes, you burnt the roof of your mouth every damn time. You dreamed of looking like the girl in a Noxema commercial. You never left the house without your sugar plum lip smackers, choker, or butterfly clips. Oh, f me. The butterfly clips. What a look. You used lemon juice or Kool-Aid to dye your hair when your mom said no to the legit dye. Alanis's Ironic lived rent-free in your head, and the letters JTT meant everything to you. The 90s to me is the ultimate in nostalgia. It's where I spent my formative years as a kid and preteen, aka the days before life got a little more dramatic and complicated. So today I'll be taking a trip down memory lane and building a balanced day of eats based around the most iconic 90s films. So grab your favorite popcorn, Mystic Pizza, or meatball.
That's a good meatball.
And come along for the ride. Hey guys, I'm Abbey Sharp, elder millennial and 90s kid. Welcome to Abbey's Kitchen. Quick disclaimer that the meals I'm making in this video are not a suggestion of how you should eat. They're simply what I made for myself on a random day inspired by my favorite nostalgic 90s movies, where I try to transform them into a general balanced day of eating, Abbey style. Also, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are going to love the new videos we are pumping out here, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Abbey's Kitchen. Let me hop in here super quick to tell you about today's sponsor, Disney Emoji Blitz. So I have two kids under 5. We are big on Disney over here. So at my son's request, I recently downloaded Disney Emoji Blitz, and it's safe to say Mama is loving this game. This is a match 3 game, which allows you to collect and play with hundreds of different Disney, Pixar, and Star Wars emojis from The Lion King, Little Mermaid, Zootopia, Toy Story, and more. Each emoji has its own unique power, and there's actual strategy built into the game. So yeah, even though my kids love watching me play, they're still kind of too young to fully grasp it yet. My favorite emoji, or maybe I should say E's favorite emoji, is of course Buzz, but we also love all of the different rainbow characters because let's be real, we love anything rainbow over here. But it's super fun if you have a collector's mentality because there are new characters added every single month in a variety of different categories. You can also earn emojis and send them to your friends. And right now, Disney Emoji Blitz is celebrating Disney 100 all year long. So there's a new platinum emoji to collect every month. And if you collect them all, you also get a special platinum mini. So if you want a super fun match 3 game that you and the family will love, you can download the game for free using the link below on your mobile device or your tablet. And you can get Mickey for free just for downloading. Okay, I would be lying if I said I wasn't the mostest excited about today's video. Because I feel like millennials are obsessed with the 90s because it just brings back like our most nostalgic feel-good moments. But looking back now, I would be lying if I said there wasn't a dark side. This was the birthplace of the whole heroin chic era, a la Kate Moss, which unfortunately we are seeing a resurgence of in the media and fashion. Now, in the 90s, I was between the ages of 3 and 13, so I was mostly oblivious to a lot of diet culture messaging. But nowadays, most preteens of this age have social media accounts. They have their own phone. They have nonstop access to this messaging. So I do think that this rebirth is particularly problematic. It just feels like no one is immune. But this feels like a lot to unpack before 9 a.m. We are going into some dark, dark places. So let me finish my coffee, make breakfast, and we'll pick it up a little later on. Folks, we must express our gratitude to the High Master. And when I say High Master, I'm talking about these.
Good morning, baby.
The morning consumption of mass quantities.
Hey, let go my ego. Eggos scream childhood to me. I'm pretty sure these solely sustained me from like the age of 3 until 16, at least. Like it was just straight up Eggos with pancake syrup every day. And I'm not mad about it. Also, leave me a comment below, but did anyone else only ever get like Aunt Jemima's pancake syrup growing up? My parents never bought the real maple syrup. I didn't even know there was a difference until I was like 30. Okay, like maybe I should give myself a little more credit, but still. And to all the almond moms out there, I survived. All right, while I get these bad boys in the toaster, Abby, can you like talk about the difference between maple and pancake syrup? You got it. So maple syrup is pancake syrup, but pancake syrup isn't maple syrup?
Strike that. Reverse it.
Okay, let's break it down. So if we compare Aunt Jemima's with pure luxury Canadian liquid gold, they basically have the same amount of calories and sugar, around 200 calories and 50-ish grams of carbs. The difference is really in the ingredients. Maple syrup is made from a labor-intensive process called sugaring, where maple trees are tapped in the winter, and table syrup is mainly made from corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup, plus some additives and maple flavor. As I discussed in my scary food ingredients video right here, there's a lot of conflicting evidence about high fructose corn syrup. In short, the most common type of high fructose corn syrup has a similar fructose to glucose ratio as table sugar and pretty close to honey. Maple syrup is predominantly sucrose, which does make it have a lower glycemic index, and that arguably does give it a slight metabolic and nutritional edge. But despite the higher fructose ratio in high fructose corn syrup, when compared to different amounts of sucrose or table sugar, there doesn't seem to be much difference in insulin response, leptin levels, fullness levels, or weight change. I prefer maple syrup to table syrup mainly because I find the flavor and texture far superior, which means I ultimately feel satisfied on less. But hey, if you love your pancake syrup, amazing, you do you. Choose whatever sweetener you like best and use it in moderation. Oh yeah, that smell smells like my childhood. Now, in the 90s for me, breakfast would have been maybe 1 to 2 of these Eggos, margarine, because we never had butter growing up, and pancake syrup. Pretty much that was it. And I am not knocking that. Mom, you're doing a good job. Bitch, you doing a good job.
Bitch, you doing a good job.
But today we're swapping out my childhood fave with maple syrup, the real deal. It just hits different. Right? And we gotta support local Canadian products. And to make this Conehead approved, we either need an abnormal shaped head, Brody, can you do that in editing, or mass quantities. Or we'll just make it a hunger crushing combo. So, a little peanut butter. You gotta get it in every single hole.
I really fell in love with all of them.
Do you guys remember when you were a kid and the maple syrup, if it was not in every single compartment, someone was having a fit? And that's when my OCD started. Only one? Am I the only one? Maybe. All right, a little bit in all the crevices. Because I mean, these are delicious, but just not gonna fill your girl up. Oh. All right, done. Hemp hearts, because it's my little adult touch. Bloops, or whatever other kind of fruit you might have. And you know what? We'll just throw a little bit more on the side here for some extra fiber. Fill her up. Look at these massive grapes. We're gonna add a little more protein. Got some full fat Greek yogurt. Boop. Oh, memory unlocked, guys. When my mom was really just like not having it, we got for breakfast waffles with ice cream. Yeah, it was good. It was good. This is gonna be good too. All right, little maple syrup. Oh yeah, look at that. We have lots of fiber-rich carbs in our berries here, plus our nut butter and hemp hearts, protein and healthy fats in the hemp hearts and nut butter, and we've got some extra protein in the Greek yogurt there. It looks like a huge upgrade from my Aunt Jemima margarine situation of my childhood, but Let's see how it tastes. Is it worth me having to redo my whole makeup in order to eat it like a cone head? All right. It's so good though. Okay, this day needs a little physical activity. And for this, I'm thrown to my favorite 90s character of all time, Mary Catherine Gallagher.
Mary, stop. Stop it, Mary, stop it.
When I get nervous, sometimes I just put my fingers under my arms and I smell like this. Everybody dance now. Like Billy Madison, I know this movie by heart. You're horrible!
You're horrible!
Horrible! Well, your mom named you after bottled water. All right, enough. Let's dance. Superstar! All right, lovers, let's talk lunch. And we really cannot talk about 90s movies without giving praise to Adam Sandler. I think I know every single 90s Adam Sandler movie by heart, but my favorite of all time is Billy Madison. I can quote this movie on demand. Do you want to see? Nudie magazine day, nudie magazine day. Back to school.
Back to school.
Back to school.
To prove to Dad
I'm not a fool.
I got my lunch packed up.
My shoes tied tight.
I hope I don't get in a fight.
Oh, back to school. Stop looking at me, Schwan. If peeing your pants is cool, consider me Miles Davis. Stay as long as you can. You've got to cherish it. You've got to cherish it. Today, Junior, the mucus queen
Is yours.
Thanks. Okay, let's get into that's enough. We gotta get into the food, and that means one of my favorite Billy Madison scenes of all time. You know, I made them extra sloppy for ya.
I know how you kids like them sloppy.
Lady, you're scaring us.
All right, well, let's make some sloppy joes. I'm gonna make this plant-based because I figure why not? It's a really easy swap to make. Even though I'm pretty sure when I had sloppy joes growing up as a kid, it was literally just ground beef and manwich sauce, which is delicious, but I also think we can bump up the nutrition a little bit here. So I'm gonna use some plant-based kind of faux ground beef. And while I get chopping some veg here, Ab, can you compare and contrast regular beef with the vegan variety? Oh God, I am getting traumatic flashbacks to like my grade 6 essay on The Giver. Like, holy memory unlocked. But anyway, since Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat hit the shelves in the mid-2010s, there's been an ongoing argument as to what is healthier, faux meat or the real deal. And to answer that question, you'd kind of have to ask, what does healthy even mean? But for a quick comparison, here's some food for thought. If we compare the Impossible Burger product Beyond Burger and 80/20 ground beef, we see that the faux meat has less calories, less fat, less saturated trans fat, and more micronutrients and fiber. They have pretty much the same amount of protein. Impossible Burger has a bit of a nutritional edge over Beyond if iron is a concern for you, because much of its iron is in the highly bioavailable heme form, also found in regular regular beef. The downside of the faux beef is that, of course, they are higher in sodium and other additives, which may or may not be a priority or concern for you. Another big consideration is the environmental impact. We know that beef production is one of the greatest contributors to greenhouse gas emissions, about a whopping 60%, while plant-based foods contribute about half that amount. Ultimately, as you know, I'm not vegan, but I basically only eat red meat if it's served to me. So I am super grateful that we have some other options on the market today. That said, these faux meats are highly processed, so I encourage people to enjoy them in moderation alongside other less processed plant-based foods. And this is why I use this little hack anytime I'm using faux beef. I stretch it out with some kind of whole foods like lentils, or in this case, mushrooms. So bear with me. I've got some cremini mushrooms here. I'm just gonna pop into my food processor, lid on, and we're gonna pulse until they get to like a ground meat-like texture. That looks good. You don't wanna overdo it because otherwise it's gonna turn into like a mushroom puree and nobody wants that. Step 2, add a little salt. And get it in there, and we're going to squeeze out as much liquid as we can. We want them extra sloppy, but not wet. This really could have been the workout right here. Okay. All right, let's set that aside and make some joes. All right, vegan beef down. So I'm gonna add in some onions, bell peppers, and a little zucchini because I have them in the fridge, and why not add the extra fiber? All right, dump our mushroom meat, a little tomato paste, there we go, a little garlic, beep, and let's give that some time to cook down. All right, a little bit of simple tomato sauce, Slim HP, which is vegan, did you know? Not just for steaks, my friends. A little red wine vinegar, and some maple syrup. Oh, jeez. It's gonna work out, folks. Now they're getting extra sloppy. I'm making it extra sloppy for me. Get a hero shot of that. This feels fairly authentic. So let's recap here, folks. We've got lots of protein and fat in our faux beef and lots of fiber in all the veggies that I added here, plus some extra veggies on the side. It smells like my childhood. It is so good. Like, manwich is not man enough. Because a sandwich is a sandwich, but a manwich is a meal.
You're scaring us, lady.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, oh no. Do I have to throw this toaster out now? There's gonna be a pickle in there forever. I'm just gonna leave it there. All right, lovers, let's talk dinner. And for this, I say we eat like an 8-year-old kid living his dream in a massive house without his parentals.
A lovely cheese pizza just for me.
So pizza to me is like the ultimate childhood nostalgia food. I mean, we'd always have pizza on like a Friday night and at every birthday party, obviously. So it's just associated with fun. Okay, but this is controversial. But when I was a kid, I didn't even want my pizza plain with just cheese. I wanted no cheese, but it had to be baked with the cheese so that it kind of got the essence of cheese. And then I like to take the cheese off so that it was basically just thick dough with like a little bit of a soggy tomatoey crust, but that was it. It was just bread, basically just bread. And Pizza Hut was the best kind of pizza bread? Argue with me in the comments. Like, do you guys remember the Pizza Hut buffet? I mean, the ice cream bar at the end there? That gave me life. But anyways, pizza is just so easy to make, so I figured we're gonna do our own here, and that way I can add whatever the hell I want. Okay, stretch this out as much as we can here. A little tomato sauce. Pizza night is so much fun. I love the idea of just like adding whatever toppings you'd like. And I remember having like pizza parties as a kid for like birthdays, and you know, every kid got to add their own toppings. Those were good times. All right, done. I'm gonna dry off some roasted red pepper here. All right. I've got some sauteed onions and mushrooms. Oh, so good. I've got some leftover chicken here that I'm gonna add for some protein. Got some olives for some healthy fats. Lots of cheese to basically say f it to my younger self, who for some reason took off the best part. And this is my little adult twist. I'm just gonna spritz the edges here so it stays with some olive oil or avocado oil. And then I've got some everything but the bagel spice. And you put that on the crust. Trust me, folks, you will never eat pizza any other way after you do this. Let's bake her off.
One eternity later.
This is unreal, folks. Oh, yes! Hello! Oh, she's perfect. Woo, she's hot. Do you use a knife or scissors? Because I'm all about the scissors. Knives just make a big old mess. A little bit down the center. Gotta get an authentic triangle situation. Oh, ooh, hot, 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 hot.
Hot, 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 hot.
Okay, last essential step. Hot honey. You'll never eat pizza any other way. Oh. Let's recap. We have deliciousness all around. I got carbs in our pizza crust, healthy fats in our olives plus our cheese, protein in our chicken, and I added some extra veg onto our pizza and a little side salad as well. I already know that I'm going to burn the roof of my mouth with this cheese, just like I did in the good old days at Pizza Hut. It wouldn't be authentic without a nice, bubbling, burnt, soft palate. Let's try it. I'm really selling it, aren't I? Oh my God, it is so good. Okay, so we cannot do a nostalgic day of eating without a little dessert. And maybe reliving some childhood trauma, because nothing instills fear in me greater than the thought of being thrown into the chokey.
Get outside, you festering ball of pus!
Or like chucked over a fence by my pigtails.
Good luck!
And speaking of childhood trauma, I don't think any of us will ever forget our dear Bruce. Okay, so I chose this scene because to this day, I'm 35 years old, and I don't think I have ever seen such a moist looking chocolate cake. Did I offend you? I hope I did. Like, I'm not even huge on chocolate desserts, but that looks freaking amazing. But I also chose the scene because I think it serves as good evidence of how early kids are taught in their lives to equate fatness with complete and utter disgust, gluttony, and punishment. Nothing about that scene was dignified. I'm fairly certain that it was originally written as like a cautionary tale to kids to like avoid eating bad foods or getting fat, even though in the end, Brucey kind of turned it around and was revered for like sticking it to the man. woman, I guess, in the case of Miss Trunchbull. But yeah, ultimately, I guess that Brucey does better than one of the other major enormously fat Roald Dahl characters, Augustus Gloop, because we all know how that one ended up.
Stuck in the pipe there, isn't he, Wonka? It's his stomach that's done that.
Side note, Roald Dahl is recently in the news because a lot of his texts are being re-edited with more modern kind of PC language. And I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I will say that this movie made me scared to eat chocolate cake. So what are we gonna do today? We're gonna eat the damn cake. And I'm gonna show you one of my favorite ways to hunger crush and combo it up. Just toasting some nuts here, folks. Oh, what? I just bought this kind of frozen and thought I'd make myself a molten lava chocolate cake. Please, God. Okay, there we go. Still good, still good, still good. Now, full disclosure, I'm not crazy about just straight up chocolate. So I know I just need a little something to bring it all together. A little Greek yogurt. Oh, look at that. Oh yeah, lots of berries. And toasted almonds for some healthy fats. And Abby, while I work on this, can you explain why on earth we would add anything to a perfectly good molten lava cake? Listen, some days I'm with you. The cake, au naturel, is all that will ultimately do. But I've been practicing intuitive eating for over 12 years now. And in that time, I've collected a lot of data on what feels good to my body. At 35, I know that I just do not feel great when I eat a lot of straight up sugar before bed, especially a lot of rich chocolate. I often don't sleep well because I wake up from a blood sugar crash in the night, and then I feel ravenous and a little bit nauseous when I wake up. And because I have IBS, I find my whole bathroom routine gets totally thrown off, and I end up feeling bloated, constipated, and generally cranky as the next day. But I still like to end my day with something sweet. So I have learned that by dressing up my naked carbs with protein, fiber, and fat, I feel physically satiated and emotionally satisfied. And not every dessert will look like this, but this is what I found holistically feels best to me. Focusing on an additive approach to gentle nutrition like my hunger crushing combo helps support healthy blood sugars, energy levels, satiety, and appetite regulation, and helps naturally edge out some of the less nutritious ingredients while keeping you out of scarcity mentality. It's kind of a win-win-win situation in my books. Amen to that. And on that note, how much fun was this day? We got waffles, sloppy joes, pizza, and cake. It doesn't get better than that, folks. But to my 90s kids, what iconic food scenes from movies did I miss? Also, should we do a 2000s movie list? Let me know in the comments below what you want to see. And on that note, that's all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!